If you are above 60, you must eat 4 seeds every day, and 4 harmful seeds you should never touch. They informed us that seeds are natural, nutrient-dense, high in fiber, and beneficial. However, what if I told you that wasn't all there is to it? There is a darker side to that superfood label, particularly for those over 60. According to recent research, some seeds, which the majority of us consume on a daily basis, may actually hasten aging, harm blood vessels, and covertly cause inflammation that is linked to heart failure, stroke, and joint degradation. The worst aspect is that 99% of seniors are unaware of it. In just 3 weeks, a single type of seed raised inflammatory markers in seniors by 67%, according to a study published in the Journal of Gerontology. It is still marketed as a heart-healthy snack, though. The 4 seeds that could drastically alter your life and the 4 that you should never touch are shown in this video. One of our patients was able to walk pain-free again because to number 1 on the good list and number 1 on the bad list might be sitting in your kitchen right now. Peer-reviewed study, decades of senior nutrition research, and actual science support everything you learn in this movie. I want to ask you 2 questions before we start. Let's start with the seeds you eat every day. Second, have you ever experienced any subsequent skin problems, joint pain, or bloating? Tell us in the comments section. We are reading each one and responding with tailored advice and suggestions. Let's begin with the seeds you need to get rid of before they stealthily ruin your health. Sunflower seeds come in at number 4. Sunflower seeds are generally believed to be safe. They are advertised as a good source of vitamin E, offered at every grocery shop, and added to salads and baked into health bars. However, sunflower seeds can subtly become a metabolic nightmare for elderly people. The pro-inflammatory equivalent of omega-3 fatty acids, omega-6 fatty acids, are abundant in these little kernels. Omega-6s support fundamental cell function when taken in moderation. However, unbalance is the issue. The optimal ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 should be approximately 4:1, per a 2022 study that was published in Nutrition and Aging. However, for seniors who eat sunflower seeds on a daily basis, that ratio rises to 18:1 or more. An ideal environment for inflammation is produced by this disproportionate ratio. It can cause knee stiffness, severe joint flare-ups, and potentially heart problems by hardening the artery lining over time. Margaret, a 72-year-old retired librarian, was one of our patients who arrived complaining of persistent exhaustion and swollen ankles. She cooked at home, walked every day, and was otherwise in good health. However, while examining her diet, we discovered that she was regularly including sunflower seeds in her granola, salads, and snacks. Her CRP levels, which indicate inflammation in the blood, were 3 times higher than what is considered safe. Her swelling decreased in just 10 days after we took out the seeds and swapped them out with a well-balanced blend of flaxseed and chia. Her energy levels improved after 3 weeks, and she was able to walk for about 40 minutes without feeling tired, up from 10 minutes before. Inflammation indicators dropped 42% in her follow-up blood test. You should reconsider sunflower seeds if you are over 60, particularly if you have high cholesterol, arthritis, or exhaustion. Since pumpkin seeds supply zinc and magnesium without the omega-6 overload, they are a safer alternative that we will discuss later. The third item is cottonseed. Cottonseed sounds innocuous. The majority of people aren't even aware that they're eating it. Instead of being sprinkled on top of foods like chia or sunflower, it is buried deep within baked goods, processed snacks, and even nutritious salad dressings. This is due to the fact that one of the least expensive oils utilized in the food business is cottonseed oil, which is derived from cotton plants. Here's the scary bit, though. Gossypol is a naturally occurring poison found in cottonseed that the plant manufactures to ward off insects. It is extremely detrimental to human health, especially in elderly people, even though it may be helpful for keeping bugs away. Gossypol has been demonstrated to disrupt electrical signals in the heart, inhibit muscle cell uptake of calcium, and affect mitochondrial function, the mechanism by which all cells produce energy. According to a 2016 analysis that appeared in toxicology reports, exposure to gossypol raised the incidence of arrhythmias and abrupt tiredness by causing oxidative stress in cardiac tissue and altering potassium homeostasis. Due to their slower detoxification processes and already compromised electrolyte balance, seniors are particularly at risk. Joan, a 70-year-old patient of ours, had just changed to a low-fat diet after receiving a cholesterol warning from her doctor. She started consuming more low-calorie salad dressings, boxed granola, and whole grain crackers. But within a month, she had muscle cramps that seemed like they were crawling under her skin, fluttering sensations in her chest, and persistent weariness. Although her ECG was borderline, it was not severe enough to warrant medication. Upon conducting a nutrition audit, we found that conceed oil was mentioned as one of the top 3 ingredients in almost all of the packaged foods she was consuming. We substituted roasted chickpeas, avocado slices, and extra virgin olive oil for dressings for her snacks, and eliminated all items that contained conceed oil. Her muscle spasms ceased after 2 weeks. She called us to report that, for the first time in months, she felt alive again when her heart palpitations stopped by week 3. Conceed oil is inexpensive, highly processed, and infrequently has a warning label. However, it is inappropriate for a senior's diet. Examine all labels if you're over 60, paying particular attention to baked snacks and sauces. You may be eating something that subtly affects your energy, muscles, and heart without you ever understanding why. Sesame seeds come in second. There are sesame seeds everywhere, baked into nutritious crackers, poured over Asian stir-fries, on hamburger buns, and within tahini. Sesame seeds contain potent plant chemicals that can cause severe allergic reactions, immunological overload, and even mineral shortages, although most individuals over 60 are unaware of this. Because aging digestive systems are more sensitive and take longer to eliminate inflammatory stimuli, this becomes particularly risky. The presence of phytates, which are substances that bind to vital minerals like calcium, magnesium, and zinc, in sesame seeds is a major problem. This might not be a major concern in a young, healthy stomach. However, phytates can hinder the absorption of nutrients that are already scarce for elderly people. According to a 2020 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, diets high in phytate can reduce calcium absorption by up to 27% in older persons, raising their risk of osteoporosis and bone fractures. The rising prevalence of sesame allergies, particularly those with adult onset, is a greater worry, though. Following a spike in allergic responses, the majority of which were in adults over 50, the FDA designated sesame as the 9th significant allergen in 2023. Not all of these responses are dramatic. They frequently manifest in elderly people as rashes, sneezing fits, chronic sinus congestion, or even mild weariness that cannot be linked to diet. We saw a 69-year-old retired nurse called Linda, who complained of chronic bloating, dry skin patches on her elbows, and excruciating joint pain. We examined her IgE levels after trying unsuccessfully to eliminate dairy, gluten, and red meat, and found a sesame sensitivity that had gone entirely undiagnosed. She had been eating hummus every day, which is made with mashed sesame seeds called tahini. We cut out all sesame from her diet and substituted a combination of avocado and walnuts for her good fats. Her tummy calmed down, her skin cleared up, and the joint discomfort she had been dealing with for 6 years was almost completely gone in 2 weeks. She claimed to feel 15 years younger. Be careful while consuming sesame oil, hummus, or those popular superseed crackers. Variety is fine. But elders should avoid eating too many seeds that can cause concealed immune responses or leach minerals, especially when there are safer options available, which we'll disclose soon. First up, chia seeds. The shocking part comes next. Chia is the top seed you should avoid touching beyond 60, at least not in the incorrect form. Indeed, chia is the purported superfood that nutritionists and influencers frequently tout, but here's what they fail to mention. When chia seeds are eaten dry or not properly soaked, they can be extremely harmful. This is due to the fact that chia grows significantly when it comes into touch with water. It can actually absorb as much moisture as 12 times its own weight. This is okay in a healthy digestive system, but it can result in a serious blockage in elderly people with slower gut motility or any type of GERD, IBS, or esophageal constriction. Numerous case reports of elderly people who swallowed dry chia seeds or combined them with very little liquid have been published in medical journals. These cases include choking, constipation, and even esophageal impaction. Just 1 hour after consuming a spoonful of chia seeds with water, a 72-year-old man experienced a complete esophageal blockage that necessitated the surgical evacuation of a chia seed mass, according to a research published in the Annals of Emergency Medicine. He believed it would aid in his intestinal cleansing. Rather, it nearly killed him. Roberto, a 74-year-old former truck driver with a history of acid reflux, was one of our patients. One of the superfood powders in the wellness kit his daughter got him contained chia. Without soaking it first, he started adding it to his smoothies and porridge. Within a week, he began experiencing severe constipation, strong stomach aches, and extreme bloating that prevented him from having a bowel movement for 5 days. He was pale and worn out by the time he entered, and his abdomen was swollen. The chia was stopped right away, and he was given a mild osmotic laxative before switching to soaked flaxseed for the night. He returned to his usual self by the 3rd day. Additionally, we showed him how to properly prepare chia by soaking it in water for at least half an hour before eating. Chia isn't bad. It has antioxidants, omega-3 fatty acids, and fiber. It must be thoroughly soaked, though, or else it poses a hidden risk, particularly for elderly people who frequently experience dry throats, weakened peristalsis, and decreased stomach hydration. Never consume dry or powdered chia if you are older than 60. Always start with half a teaspoon and soak it well. Even safer, if you want even more gut support without the risk, wait for seed number 2 on the good list. The next 4 seeds can really help undo the harm, so let's flip the script now that you know which seeds are causing you silent pain. The 4th item is black sesame seeds. You might be surprised by this, especially in light of what we just revealed. Yes, we are once more discussing sesame seeds, but not the tahini paste or processed white sesame that are kept in most refrigerators. We are discussing unhulled and unpolished black sesame seeds. These are entirely distinct. Lignans, which are strong antioxidants found in abundance in black sesame seeds, help lower oxidative stress, particularly in aging blood vessels and brain cells. Black sesame seeds maintain their mineral value and are usually used in tiny medicinal amounts in Eastern medicine, in contrast to the standard kind, which is stripped of its outer shell and frequently roasted in harmful oils. According to a 2021 study in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry, elderly people blood pressure regulation and cognitive function were enhanced by regular use of black sesame seeds. Individuals between the ages of 65 and 78 who took just 2 tablespoons per day for 60 days saw a 13% decrease in their systolic blood pressure and a 22% improvement in their memory recall scores. A 70-year-old retired math teacher called Siham was one of our patients. He had been experiencing low energy and forgetfulness for months. She was at risk for minor cognitive impairment, according to her neurologist, and her blood pressure was borderline high. We started with a teaspoon of ground black sesame combined with a little honey and warm water every morning, instead of jumping right into medications. Her ability to focus significantly improved within a month, and she informed us that she could remember the names of students from decades past. Without taking any medicine, her blood pressure decreased from 142/88 to 128/80. The catch is this: instead of the pale toasted type, it must be black sesame. It must be soaked or pounded rather than eaten raw, and it should not be consumed in excess but rather as part of a varied diet. When properly acquired and processed, these tiny seeds can provide seniors with the antioxidant protection, vascular support, and cognitive clarity they require. Flax seeds are the third item. For elders, flax seeds are silent heroes. They are rarely discussed on television and lack ostentatious promotion. However, their actions within the body are remarkable. Alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 lipid that aids in lowering systemic inflammation, is abundant in these seeds. The most abundant dietary source of lignans, which are naturally occurring plant estrogens that support hormone balance, enhance digestion, and shield the heart, is flax seeds. 110 elderly persons over 70 with borderline blood pressure were tracked in a 2018 study on hypertension. A daily flaxseed muffin containing 30 grams of ground flax was provided to half of the participants, while the other half were given a placebo muffin. Following 6 months, the flax group's systolic and diastolic mercury levels decreased by 15 and 7 millimeters respectively. Similar to many first-line blood pressure drugs, but without the negative side effects, is that type of change. We witnessed this firsthand in a patient named Youssef, a 68-year-old former taxi driver who had long battled constipation and high cholesterol. He tried adding ground flaxseed to his yogurt every morning after his daughter persuaded him to do so. We began with just 1 teaspoon and gradually increased to 2. He claimed that for the first time in years he was having regular, easy bowel motions by the 3rd week. Over the course of 3 months, his triglycerides decreased by 33%, and his total cholesterol decreased from 218 to 174. Furthermore, he reported that following meals, his stomach no longer felt constricted and heavy. Grinding flax fresh is essential to reaping its health advantages. Whole flaxseed won't be absorbed as it passes through the digestive system. Its oils are sensitive and can quickly turn rancid, so keep it in the refrigerator whether you grind it yourself or purchase it already ground. Add it to cereal, smoothies, or even some Laban. Don't cook it, please. When exposed to extreme heat, it loses its efficacy. Flaxseed is one of the greatest daily routines you can begin right now if you're a senior with tight arteries, slow digestion, or elevated cholesterol. Pumpkin seeds come in second. Despite being one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet, pumpkin seeds, commonly known as pepitas, are almost ignored in senior diets. Zinc, a mineral that is essential for wound healing, muscle regeneration, and immune system function, is abundant in these tiny green seeds. Due to decreased stomach acid, which is necessary for mineral absorption, seniors frequently have low zinc levels. The outcome? Muscle weakness that is mistaken for aging, slow healing, and recurrent infections. Magnesium, which supports more than 300 biological functions, is also present in pumpkin seeds. Muscle contraction and relaxation are among the most crucial of those. 76 persons over 65 who experienced leg cramps and restless nights were the subjects of a 2019 study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition. After adding 30 grams of pumpkin seeds daily for just 4 weeks, 71% reported improved sleep, and leg cramps were reduced by 48%. Adil, a 73-year-old patient of ours, has spent his whole career in construction. He complained to us of having problems falling asleep, having restless legs at night, and experiencing an odd tingling sensation in his calves. He had been taking calcium pills and drinking a lot of water, but to no avail. Following testing, we discovered that his zinc levels were borderline inadequate, and his magnesium levels were low. We advised him to begin eating pumpkin seeds every day, gently chewed, unsalted, and lightly roasted. The cramps stopped after 2 weeks. For the first time in years, he slept through the night after a month. Later, his wife told us, smiling, that his jumping legs had ceased, so she could finally sleep too. Pumpkin seeds are the missing component for seniors who are experiencing sluggish healing, poor sleep, or muscle loss. Everything can be changed with just one tiny handful per day. No medicines or powders, just actual food. First, hemp seeds. Hemp seeds are the most important seed that any senior should consume on a daily basis. The hemp plant is the source of these tiny beech seeds, but fear not, they have no THC. The ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acids they possess is among the best balanced of any entire meal. For seniors, particularly those who are struggling with inflammation, cognitive decline, and muscle atrophy, that balance is vital. Gamma-linolenic acid, a rare anti-inflammatory substance that supports metabolism, lowers joint pain, and regulates hormones, is also abundant in hemp seeds. However, that is only the beginning. In a 2022 clinical study published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition and Aging, a group of adults between the ages of 65 and 79 received 30 grams of hemp seed every day for 8 weeks. The findings revealed that 72% of participants had enhanced grip strength, HDL, the good cholesterol, increased by 19%, and CRP inflammation indicators decreased by 36%. Salma, a 76-year-old woman who battled arthritis in both of her knees and needed a cane, was one of our most inspirational patients. With little success, she had tried a number of drugs, lotions, and joint supplements. We added hemp seeds to her morning regimen after looking over her lab results and observing persistent low-grade irritation. She blends 3 teaspoons a day with dates and almond milk in her morning smoothie. Additionally, we promoted moderate daily walking. She experienced decreased morning joint stiffness by week 3. She was walking most days without her cane by week 6, and after 2 months, she was able to squat down and cultivate once more because her joint swelling had significantly decreased. Hemp seeds are easy to digest and have a delicate, buttery texture. They don't need to be soaked or ground. You can combine them into smoothies, sprinkle them on soup, or swirl them into yogurt. They have no negative side effects, are safe for elderly people with dental problems, and are effective at reducing chronic pain. 3 teaspoons a day is a simple habit that can restore energy and mobility more quickly than anything we've observed for anyone over 60 who is experiencing lethargy, aching joints, or brain fog. Here are the top 4 seeds you need to eat every day, and the 4 worst seeds you should never touch. And keep in mind that it's not about avoiding seeds or being afraid of food. It's about understanding what your body responds to as you age. At 70, what worked for you at 40 could backfire. But you can fight back against aging and regain your health, sleep, and energy by choosing real, nutrient-rich, anti-inflammatory seeds. We'd like to hear from you now. Have you already tried any of these seeds? And what is the one thing that you find most difficult? Sleep, digestion, or joints? Please leave your thoughts and experiences in the comments section below. We enjoy listening to them. Remember to share this with someone you care about if you found it useful. Because health is no longer a luxury at the age of 60. It serves as the cornerstone of everything. Thank you for viewing.